Hi guys, I'm here on a Saturday. It's not our normal day, but I wanted to hop on here real quick to talk about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I've been watching it, but I didn't really weigh in on it. And I'm like, what? It seems to be popular on TikTok. They've been talking about it, different parts of it. And of course, it's coming from a different perspective. It's not coming from a perspective of a lawyer. So I wanted to come on here and give my reaction to what's going on with the defamation trial for Johnny Depp suing Amber Heard and Amber Heard counter-suing Johnny Depp. So if you're here live, check in the comment section, in the chat section, say hello to our CXC crew. If you're watching the replay, make sure you comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about it so far, because I kind of don't know what people's opinions about the matter. Do they care? Are they kind of invested in the matter? This is like the second celebrity defamation case that's happened in the last 6 months or so. If you recall, you may not recall, Cardi B sued a YouTuber for her making defamatory statements on her YouTube channel, and she won that case. So now we have another defamation case. Johnny Depp, an actor, suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for her making defamatory statements. He sued her in the UK. He's now suing her in the United States, and it's actually happening in Fairfax, Virginia court. And that's kind of my old stomping grounds. I went to law school in DC. I lived in Virginia, in Northern Virginia for a while before relocating to Houston. So it kind of piqued my interest, and I wanted to see kind of what you guys think about it. And also to see, I'm looking from it from the lens of an attorney and having different perspectives on it. So I want to see what you think about it. I know the most recent thing is Amber Heard's attorney objecting to his own question. And everybody's like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. And I was like, well, let me go watch it to see what everybody's talking about. Like, he's objecting to his own question. That seems weird. And for me, I know as a trial attorney, there's a lot of fast moving things happening. And I'm like, well, did he really object to his own question? There are people misinterpreting what's happening. So I had to go watch it. So I'm going to play a little clip from it, and then we're going to kind of dissect it and go from there. But I wanted to come on here real quick. It's going to be a quick live stream. So let's get into it. So let me try to share my screen with you so we can watch the little clip of the video that supposedly he's objecting to his own question, and then kind of we'll get into it. So let's open up that tab, and then let's see if you guys can see. All right. So this is the clip. Is I'll play less than a minute, but where supposedly Amber Heard's attorney is objecting to his own question. He's questioning, I think it's a medical professional on the stand about what happened when he came to the house to see about her being injured. So let's play it.
When you're in the house, correct?
Yes, briefly.
Okay. And isn't it true that in the entire time you were there, you were not informed as to what caused damage to Mr. Depp's finger on March 8th?
Objection, hearsay.
Asking what he wasn't told.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
But you yes.
Okay.
Okay. So that was just a quick clip of it, but he asked the question. So this obviously is not his own witness. He's, by the way he's questioning, he said, isn't it true? So he's coming from a position of this is not his own witness, right? Because if he was questioning his own witness, it'd probably be more open-ended questions. But he said, isn't it true? And he's trying to kind of narrow the witness down to pinpoint what he wasn't told. But the way he phrased the question was a little bit awkward. So then when the person answered the question, he's like, wait, that's not what I wanted you to say, right? And it came from a place like he wasn't prepared for the answer. And you never, as an attorney, ask a question that you are not prepared for the answer, right? Especially, this is on cross-examination, right? So obviously this is Johnny Depp's witness, and he's cross-examining Johnny Depp's witness to try to prove that he really didn't know how Johnny Depp injured his finger, right? And then he objects to it on first. Johnny Depp's attorney objects to it on hearsay grounds, and then he objects to himself on hearsay. So let's get a little bit into. So what is hearsay, right? So hearsay is an out-of-court statement when you're in court testifying. Is an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. It takes you back for all those aspiring law students, all those current law students, new attorneys. It takes you back to the days of civil procedure where you have to prove, like everybody, their lay version of what hearsay is not really what hearsay is. It's when you're in court. That's the first thing. So anybody that talks about hearsay outside the court is not hearsay. Let's be clear. When you're in court, testifying under oath, offering a statement that was made out of the court, and you're offering in court to prove what you're saying is true. I'll give you an example. You're testifying. I'm on the witness stand, and I'm testifying and saying, "Hey, such and such said that they were going to kill me." Right? If you're saying that on the stand, and you're saying it to prove that Jan tried to kill you, right? You cannot offer that because that's an out of court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, right? But if you're saying it to say that's why I decided to run down the street, that perhaps would not be hearsay because it's explaining your actions, right? So when you get into hearsay, it's a whole world of it, right? Let me try to bring it up because hearsay is a whole world. Rule 801 of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure explains what hearsay is, right? And then there's an exception to hearsay. There's actually quite a bit of exception because that's how the law works. Like you really can't even have a rule in the law because there's so many exceptions to the rule. So I'll prove. Let me share my screen with you so I can show you. But in Rule 803 of the Rules of Civil Procedure, there are exceptions to the hearsay rule, and there's quite a bit of them. I think they're like, I want to say 30 something. If I remember correctly, there's a lot, right? So it almost says like, okay, these things are not hearsay because you're offering it to explain something else. Let's say you offering it as, as you're about to die. It's not hearsay. It's offered to explain something. It's not hearsay, right? So it's not, there's so many exceptions to the rule that it was surprising to me that he even objected to it. But everybody's talking about it, right? He's objected to his own question. And perhaps he did object to it. He probably asked his question the wrong way. He's trying to ask a negative, and that's kind of hard to do on cross-examination, right? So I wasn't as flustered by it as somebody who is not familiar with the legal world. But anyway, that's what's kind of started all like, what's going on with this Amber Heard trial, this Johnny Depp trial? So let's go back from the beginning. Johnny Depp is, of course, an actor. He's suing Amber Heard, who is his former wife, for defamation for editorial she put in the Washington Post, I believe. And it was published in Virginia, which is why they're holding the trial in Virginia, right? So they're holding the trial where the actual alleged incident happened, right? And so he's suing her for defamation. He sued her already in UK, and now he's suing her in the United States to say that she offered some statements that were not true, and it caused him to suffer financially as a result of her publishing these statements. So if you get into kind of like what defamation is, there's two types of defamation lawsuits. There's libel and slander. And I remember this from civil procedure. Libel is written statements and slander is spoken. So I remembered it because slander stands for spoken, right? So in this case, this is a libel suit because he's suing for something that she published, written documents in the Washington Post. In the Cardi B case, it was slander because it was for statements that the YouTuber made spoken on her YouTube channel. So in this case, the defamation kind of trial is libel. So let's get into, I'll share my screen. I hope you guys can see when I'm sharing my screen, but where is it? You have to prove certain elements of defamation and libel, right? So that's not sharing what I want. There's certain elements, right? So you have to prove them. And what is a defense to any kind of defamation case is the truth, because the onset is like you made a false statement. So you have to prove, if you're suing somebody, that it's not true. Like they can say something bad about you, you can injure your reputation, you can lose a lot of money, but if it's true, then you lose your case. So you have to prove that whatever they said is not true. That's a complete defense to it, right? To say, Amber Heard could say like, no, I said these things and they're true. Whereas he's saying like, they're not true. And this is why I win, because they're not true. So that's kind of where we stand on the case right now. So she publishes information. He said it caused damage to him in the sense that it ruined his reputation, that she said he was abusive. And she says she's a domestic abuse survivor, right? And as a result of her saying this, Johnny Depp said he lost some movie deals. He said that he was not offered to have movie deals on the next Pirates of the Caribbean series, and that cost him a lot of money. So he's suing her for $58 million, right? Because loss of potential wages from him doing these future Pirates of the Caribbean movie, right? So she said, okay, she's countersuing him for $100 million. So this is what's going on right now. There's two cases going on in the case because she said that he defamed her as well. It gets messy. They were only married for 2 years. I don't really know as much about Amber Heard as I do, of course, about Johnny Depp because he's been out longer or he's more popular than she is. But he's saying that she's offering up these things. So as they go along in this case, it gets real messy. Like they get into the ins and out of like whether he was abusive to her or not. They had a bodyguard testify. He was talking about body parts and how they looked in comparison to others. I won't go too much into this because I don't want to demonetize this video, but check it out. It's been really like a train wreck, if you ask me. But I think that when you sue somebody in the civil realm or even in the criminal realm, a lot of personal things come out. You are risking a lot of stuff that you may not want to have in the public eye come out. But you have $58 million on the line. So I guess Johnny Depp took the risk that he's like, yeah, I probably don't want some of this personal stuff coming out, but I have $58 million on the line. Like you cost me my future my reputation, my future jobs, positions. He's an actor. Like that's how he makes his bread and butter. If you're over here saying these things about me and people don't want to work with me as a result of it, then that's not going to be good for me. And I think that's why also Cardi B, well, I think Cardi B sued the YouTuber for her slander suit because, of course, it ruined her reputation. And also, I don't know if people would not work with her because of what the YouTuber was saying, but obviously she won that lawsuit and proved that the YouTuber kind of ruined her. It's not coming up right now. Kind of ruined her reputation. So not kind of, she did. And then she also asked that the YouTuber take down these videos that were potentially slanderous to her. After she won the lawsuit, the YouTuber decided to not take the videos down. So now that's a whole nother lawsuit as far as enforcement of the judgment. But it gets real tricky. Like, what do you think? Kind of comment in the comment section. Would you sue somebody for like supposedly slandering your name, right? Like if somebody puts something out there about you, which happens a lot, like even on social media nowadays, right? People are saying certain things, they may delete it later, but it's always forever in the YouTube or in the social media universe. Would you sue somebody over something that they wrote or said about you if you feel like it was ruining your reputation? And it has to like show, you have to prove that it ruined your reputation and caused you some kind of financial thing. Because this in the civil world, you sue for, you're not suing for getting somebody in jail. That's criminal world. You're suing for money usually, right? So you have to prove that you lost money as a result of it, which is a little hard, I guess, if you're not in the public eye as much. But you can also prove like it cost me to lose a job and to show that you got an offer, and as a result of whatever somebody said, it caused you to lose that offer and whatever the value of that offer was. So then you have to balance it out with like attorney fees, right? So how much is it going to cost me to sue this person versus actually just perhaps find another job or finding another deal? Is it worth your time and worth your money, your sanity? Because it gets real messy. And I'm just like, I don't know. But I want to know, guys, what you think. What do you think about it? Because it's kind of been a real train wreck. People on both sides of it have been calling all kind of names. And some people are Johnny Depp diehard fans. Some people are saying that Amber Heard is a liar. Of course, they probably don't know much about what's going on because these are public figures and they know what's only published. But it's been a lot happening in this trial. And I guess that's what you subject yourself to, I guess, when you're in the public eye. But I just wanted to hop on here real quick. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. And it's a Saturday. I know that you probably are doing errands. If you guys are watching on the replay, comment below. If you're a new viewer here, make sure you consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that like button so that it sends it out to the YouTube algorithm. But I just wanted to hop on here because I said I've been seeing this Amber Heard stuff. Let me just make sure I got everything I want to talk about because sometimes I forget. But yeah, that's all I had to say on the matter. So Comment below if you have any other opposing views to it, or if you have your own opinion about what should happen. Who do you think is going to win the case? Do you think Johnny Depp's going to win? Do you think Amber Heard's going to win? Her countersuit is going to get dismissed? Like, what do you think is going to happen? But I guess to be continued. We'll see what ends up happening. I think we're kind of in the middle of the trial right now, so we'll see as it goes on, like how it ends up ending out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.